and welcome. You're listening to the Just Love Them podcast. I'm your host, Shiree Best. Join me on a journey to heal relationships, build understanding, and find peace with the people we care about who have stepped away from the faith we once shared together. Thank you for sharing this podcast with those around you. You are the reason people are finding this podcast, getting answers, and feeling supported. You're helping heal people's hearts. On the recent podcast episode called When Things Get Heated, we talked about different ways that people respond to conflict. We talked about what I call pursuers and withdrawers. On that episode, when we were talking about withdrawers, I offered to do an episode on the breathing technique I taught so that I could teach it in more detail than I talked about it on that episode. Today, I'm excited to share that breathing technique with you a little deeper. I call it Serenity Breathing. I learned this technique from my beautiful friend, Kim Duncan. This is a fantastic tool to use when you've been hurt by another person, and for a variety of possible reasons, you don't want to or you can't resolve it by talking to the other person. These reasons can include that you may be a withdrawer, a term that I taught you in that episode I just mentioned. If you missed that episode, I'll leave a link for it in the show notes. A withdrawer, in a nutshell, is someone who doesn't like to resolve things by talking about it. They may feel more comfortable just trying to forget it and move on, or they may feel like talking about it doesn't help. That may be one of the reasons why you don't want to talk about the pain you're feeling because of a conflict with another person. Or maybe you're at a family or friend gathering and it's not the right time to talk and resolve a conflict with someone. Or it could be that the person's not available to talk to, or that talking to them about how you feel would just make the situation worse. Or one of many other possible scenarios why you need to resolve emotions without talking to someone. This technique, Serenity Breathing, helps you get that heat out, that feeling that makes your face flush or your blood boil or makes you want to burst into tears. Have you ever been in a social situation where something happens that either mortifies or offends or angers you? You're trying to keep your face neutral on the outside while your emotions are literally ricocheting off your walls on the inside. You're not okay, but you don't want everyone to know. You don't want anyone to know. And you don't want to or can't talk to the person who sent these emotions spinning inside of you. In fact, pro tip here, this is for in case you're thinking of saying something to the person who hurt you in the moment. It's not a good idea to talk to the person who set these emotions going, not while the emotions are hot anyway. It's almost always, if not always, better to let yourself cool down first if you're going to talk to them. When we're upset, we drop into our lower brain, which is impulsive and irrational. It's a very mild precursor of going into shock. When we talk about things in the heat of the moment, we often do and say things we regret later. Sometimes when our emotions are hot, we return a poke with a jackhammer blow. This not only makes things worse, it can cause serious damage to a relationship that could be completely avoided if we just cooled down first and allowed our higher brain, our logical, sensible, rational part of our brain, to take over again. This serenity breathing technique will help you get that heat, that negative emotion out. This technique helps you right now, in the moment with your negative situation, and no one will even know you're doing it. Like I said, I learned this technique from my friend Kim Duncan. When she taught it to me, she had just used it in a situation where she and her husband were on a date, and he said something that offended her. She didn't want to ruin the whole date, but her emotions had been triggered. She tried this technique, and it worked like a charm for her. I was intrigued when I heard about it. I couldn't wait to try it too. I'm not a person who's good at hiding my emotions. So if there's a way I can release my negative emotions quickly and without anyone knowing, I'm all about knowing how to do that. I can't tell you the number of times I have embarrassed myself by not being able to hide my emotions and also by not being able to get them out in a healthy way. A few weeks after learning this technique, my husband and I were driving to a family event in our car. My husband was driving. In the course of our conversation, my husband said something that I took as offensive. He didn't mean it that way, but at the time, it seemed like he did. And I was instantly offended. It stung inside of me. I bit my lip. I tried not to cry. Noticing my silence, my husband glanced over at me and read my body language and could see that I had changed. What? What did I say? He wanted to know. Yeah, right, I thought. You know what you said. I know what you meant by it, I shot back. That's not what I meant, he defended. But the damage was done. I was offended. Because I'm terrible at hiding my emotions, I realized that I was about to ruin the evening. It would be so embarrassing to walk into the family event and have people whisper to each other, "What's wrong with Shiree?" I would be embarrassed. My husband would be embarrassed. Everyone would know that we weren't getting along. Or we could turn around and go home. No, I thought, that's stupid. I'm not missing this event over that stupid thing. Then I remembered what Kim Duncan had taught me, the breathing exercise. I didn't want to feel this way. I didn't want to walk into the event and have everyone know something was wrong. And I didn't want to go home. So I decided to try it. Whether you're in a situation where you want to resolve negative emotions without calling attention to yourself, or you're the kind of person who wants to resolve conflict without actually communicating with the other person, this technique is awesome. Let me teach you how it works. We're going to do some visualizing. If you're somewhere private, you can do this either with your eyes open or with your eyes closed. If you're somewhere in public when you use this technique, you can do it with your eyes open. Do this visualization with me if you're in a place where you can. If you can't do the visualization with me right now, consider remembering the steps so you can try it later. Or go back and listen and do it with me when you can, today or tomorrow, if possible. If you wait, you'll forget. You don't want to wait. Here we go. Start by noticing a negative emotion inside of you. What do you feel hurt about? What comes to mind? What has hurt you? Let it come up. It might be something recent, or it may be something old. What are you feeling? Can you identify it? Is it embarrassment, sadness, anger, something else? Sometimes it just feels like pain and it's hard to identify. That's okay too. Take a moment and feel what it feels like. As you exhale slowly, visualize breathing that negative emotion that you've just identified out along with the air in your lungs. Visualize that the emotion has mixed in with the air and it's going along too, being breathed out from inside of you. Notice that the emotion may have a color or a hue to it. Notice in your mind as you're breathing out, what does it look like? Is it light or dark? Does it have a color? Now breathe in slowly and deeply. Visualize that you're breathing in peace-filled air straight from God. It's bright and clean. It may have flecks of sparkle in it. You can feel the peace entering into your body as you breathe it in. Now you breathe out again. Your breath is filled with the negative emotion you've been feeling. Breathe it out. Get it outside of your body where it can dissipate into the air. Now breathe in that peace-filled, bright, clean air. Feel it as you breathe it in. Breathe out the pain. Breathe in the peace. Breathe out. Breathe in. Out and in. Visualizing with every breath. Notice that the emotion inside of you is starting to dissipate. The color of your outgoing breath may start to change in color or hue. Continue this breathing out and in until your breath both in and out is bright and clean and light and peace-filled. This may happen quickly, or it may take some time. Continue paying attention, visualizing the color of your breath going out and the air you are taking in. Notice how you feel inside. Notice the release of your hurt as it goes out with your breath and dissipates. Notice the peace and light that is filling every cell of your body as you breathe in. Breathe out the negative. Breathe in the peace. Out and back in. Continue this visualization until you feel completely calm. You know that event that I didn't want to be embarrassed at or not show up to because I got offended by my husband? While we were still driving in the car, I decided to try what Kim Duncan had taught me for the very first time. I closed my eyes and started visualizing. I could feel the negative emotion like it was swelling my whole insides. I exhaled, visualizing the negative emotions going out along with my air. In my mind, the breath was dark gray, like a dark rain cloud just before it pours rain. I breathed out long and slow. Then I took a slow, deep breath in, visualizing the bright, shiny, clean, light air filled with peace that comes from God. As I breathed in deep and slow, I could feel it inside of me. Again, I breathed out, visualizing the pain and emotions going with it. Then in again, peaceful, cleansing, calming air. Out and back in. Breathing out and in. Like in a dream where you only observe, you don't consciously create, I noticed that with each breath in and out, the negative air I was breathing out was getting lighter and lighter in color until finally the air going out and the air coming in were the same color. I noticed that I felt calm and peaceful and that I was no longer upset. It had been quiet in the car for several moments, and my husband had no idea what I was doing. I turned to him and I said, "I'm sorry for getting offended. I'm okay now." "You are?" he asked, not really believing me. "Really, I am." "How?" he asked, as though a miracle had just happened. "I'll tell you later," I told him as we pulled into the parking lot. One caveat here. Statistics show that 2/3 to 3/4 of the population can visualize well. A smaller percentage struggle to visualize. And if this is you, it's completely normal. If you are one that visualization does not work as well for, no worries, you're not alone. For any of you for whom visualization doesn't work, I'm going to share a bonus technique that may work better for you. This is also a breathing exercise. It's called box breathing. It activates the parasympathetic nervous system. Doing this breathing exercise has been shown to help regulate the nervous system, reduce stress, and promote relaxation. This breathing exercise does not involve any visualization. You're simply going to focus on a breathing pattern. Here's the pattern. Breathe in slow and deep for a count of 4. Then hold your breath with your lungs full of air for a count of 4. Then exhale slowly and as completely as you can for a count of 4. And then hold your breath again with empty lungs for a count of 4. And then you repeat it. Try it with me if you can. Here we go. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Again, breathe in, slow and deep, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out, 2, 3, 4. And hold, 2, 3, 4. One more time. Breathe in, slow and deep, 2, 3, 4. And hold, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out. 2, 3, 4. And hold. 2, 3, 4. Now just breathe normally. The box breathing technique will help you calm down in the moment. It's kind of a reset for your emotions. It will help your emotions stop ricocheting around inside of you. It will help put you back in your higher brain where you can be logical, sensical, and rational again. If you're going to use this technique, I would also invite you to do a second step. The short-term goal is to calm down, yes, but the long-term goal is to get the negative emotions out of you, to actually stop carrying them around. Carrying negative emotions around inside of us leads to feeling unhappy, bitter, depressed, and can even make us physically and mentally sick over time. So if you're someone who thinks that ignoring your emotions or putting them on a shelf in the back of your brain somewhere makes them go away, it doesn't. They just stay inside of you like a bad chemical. You may have noticed that you push those feelings down inside, but every once in a while they pop up to the surface uninvited, often at the most inconvenient times. Then you have to stuff them back down again. You think they're going to stay there, but they never do. Sound familiar? When you intentionally remove them, that's when you heal. That's when you stop putting a ton of emotional energy into keeping your emotions in check. Do you have a hard time keeping your emotions in check? That's a classic sign of stuffing your emotions inside. And you'll feel so much better when you get them out. The Serenity Breathing is a fabulous way to do that. It actually gets them out. When you use box breathing, it helps calm your emotions in the moment, but there's an extra step that helps get them out. So if you're willing, if you want to stop putting so much emotional energy into keeping your emotions in check, this extra step will help you. After the event has passed that upset you, either that evening or the next day, sit down and write your feelings out. Write everything you can think of about what happened and how you felt about it until you can't think of anything else to write. When you're done, consciously tell yourself that those emotions are now on paper instead of inside of you. Then get rid of the paper. Don't show it to anyone. Don't let anyone read it. Those negative emotions are like hazardous waste, and you don't want to share it with anyone. Dispose of that paper. Then go to God in prayer and ask Him to fill that now empty space inside of you that you opened up by getting those negative emotions out. That space that before was occupied with negative is now empty. Ask God in prayer to fill it with something beautiful and something peaceful. Then wait and notice how you feel. God is your Father who loves you and wants you to be happy. And you are asking for something that God can and will grant. You may have an experience right then and there where you feel something positive. Or you may notice over time that you just feel lighter and happier. You've gotten some of that negative emotion out and it has been replaced with something from God just for you. Let's review. If you're a person who can visualize, do the serenity breathing by breathing the negative out and breathing peace in with every breath until you feel better. Or you may choose to do the box breathing, focusing on the pattern of breathing, where you breathe in, hold, breathe out, hold to a count of 4. Following this, you may want to do a writing exercise to get all the negative emotions out on paper, which you're then going to dispose of. This is then followed by a prayer to ask to be filled with something beautiful and peaceful. With either of these techniques, if you find you're having difficulty feeling peace, going to God in humility and asking what you need to place on the altar so that He can bless you may be what is needed. Your humble approach to God will open you up to know what God wants you to do so that He can bless you. I've learned in situations that were completely not my fault, that I thought I had nothing to repent of, that when I approached God in prayer and asked what I needed to do, it was as simple as that He wanted me to repent for pointing my negative energy at the other person. I don't really know that having negative feelings is a sin, and it doesn't really matter. What mattered was that God wanted me to put those negative feelings on the altar and give them to Him, to offer it to Him in exchange for peace. So if you're finding that you're having trouble feeling peace, consider going to God in prayer and asking Him what He wants you to place on the altar so that you can exchange it for peace. Whether you choose to do serenity breathing or box breathing and writing, the more you work to get the negative out and receive the positive in, you will change little by little. You may not notice it at first, but as you look back over time, you'll see the difference in how far you have come and how much better you feel. This matters because you deserve to be happy. Your happiness is not based on other people's decisions, despite that it may feel that way at times. Your happiness is based on your choices, your emotional and spiritual health, and your relationship with God. When you open up that space inside of you and do the work to get the negative out of you, because we all have it, when you do that work, when you get that out, you have empty space that can then be filled with peace, with calm, with positive, with love for yourself and for those around you. You then have increased power to love. Love yourself, love others, heal inside, heal relationships with those you care about the most. I know because I've been there. I'm a work in progress. We all are. And I can testify that these techniques work. They make a difference. They will help you get rid of the pain that is not serving you and that is not serving the people you care about. Because, yes, your pain is affecting them too. If you would like to explore this further, I would love to support you. Reach out and connect with me through my website, message me on Facebook, send me an email. I'd love to support you any way I can. I love you, my friend. Please join me again next time for another episode of Just Love Them.